Right, welcome ladies and gents. Following the success of Shogun and the incredible lack of diversity in that series, we're now getting a movie about Yasuke, or Yasuke, but Yasuke, the Black Samurai. I did wonder when they were going to try and do something like this. Interesting. Now, we know that this won't be historically accurate, much like The Woman King. Definitely not historically accurate, my god. But it's, hey look, this could be interesting. Could be interesting. I think people miss the point of why Shogun is so successful. Shogun is so successful because it doesn't have any diversity, and it genuinely shows the true historical, cultural sort of reflection of what feudal Japan was like. That's why Shogun is so successful. You know, it breaks from the homogeneity of current programming. Sorry about that. So anyway, this released last night. It's interesting. Let's take a look, shall we? So Warner Brothers lands Black Samurai movie. He's not a samurai, by the way. We'll look into that in a minute. From the Colour Purple director Blitz Bazawule. Don't know how to say his name, but there you go. So this is about Yasuke. So in a competitive situation, Warner Brothers has landed the Colour Purple director Blitz Bazawule's next project, which takes on the legendary Yasuke, an African warrior who became the first Black Samurai. It is important to note, he didn't actually become a samurai, he became a retainer. Samurai at that point in time was just drawn to a close in terms of what people envisage a samurai being, right? So when you think of samurai, you think sword wielding, high class, you know, the best of the best in Japan. That's what a samurai is. That wasn't what Yasuke became. Yasuke became a retainer. He was essentially a servant with more rights. And it's important to, you know, say that, because I think people will conflate this and, I don't know, like, think the wrong thing, you know. And, my God, people got all up in their feels on Twitter when I posted this. It was very funny. But anyway, sources tell Variety that Warner Brothers beat out, phrasing, 3 other studios and streamers bid on the script, tentatively titled, the imagination here, Black Samurai. Right. Which Bazawule wrote on spec and will direct and produce under his Inward Gaze banner. There is definitely some wordplay here. Black Samurai, and his banner is called Inward Gaze. Anyway. After impressing the industry with his 2018 debut, The Burial of Kojo, helming episodes of Ava DuVernay's Cherish the Day, that no one saw, and working with Beyonce on her feature-length visual album, Black is King, Bazawule made his first major studio debut of 2023's The Colour Purple, which, for all intents and purposes, actually did really well, especially for a musical. The Ghanaian filmmaker who brought his original visual language to the Oprah Winfrey and Steven Spielberg-produced musical movie is said to have done the same with his take on Yasuke. And here's where Variety is wrong. An African warrior who served under Japanese daimyo Oda Nobunaga during the Sengoku period of the samurai conflict in 16th century Japan. Instead of a traditional biopic, the film invokes shades of 300 and Mad Max. Exact plot points are still under wraps. So you know what they're going to do, don't you? They're going to make Yasuke like an actual black samurai. He wasn't an actual samurai. Like, he wasn't. So, yeah. But anyway, we'll look at Twitter in a minute and the responses to my tweet. It's very, very funny. But Bazawule was named Variety's 10 directors to watch list. He reflected on the daunting task of mounting his musical reimagining of Alice Walker's 1982 classic and says, yeah, when you get the opportunity to even pitch for it, the first question becomes, what are you possibly going to add to this canon? So you're taking that approach with this. Not particularly great. Yeah, it's not my cup of tea. In Snyder was the first to report Bazawule's Yasuke movie being shopped around to studios. But here we have it. So I just said he was effectively a servant with some extra rights, not a samurai, which is completely true. Follow me over on Twitter at Missed Reviews for more, I don't know, historical takes, I guess. And then someone goes, first foreigner to achieve samurai status. I think it's a pretty big deal, especially being born a slave. I think it's a story to tell, and it sucks that Netflix messed it up, blah, blah, blah. the true story isn't as exciting as you're being led to believe, which is very, very true. Very, very true, actually, because he didn't become a samurai. That's the point. And then you get all the plebs coming in, calling you racist. Again, No Viking is a show that takes liberty with history too. There were no shield maidens that fought. It was something in the sages, sagas that women didn't fight, just like Yasuke was a real samurai. Exactly, he wasn't a real samurai. And I replied, look, you know, it is how the word is defined. He was a retainer. He was a sword bearer. He was this, and you know, it sounds bad, and I'm not trying to demean it, but he basically was kept around for amusement. The moment Nobunaga died, Yasuke just disappeared, just vanished, like literally just vanished completely. So he wasn't around when there was any, like, to be a samurai is not, you can't just be given the title of samurai. You can if you're defining samurai in the sense that, you know, it's a title as opposed to, well, not even a title to be fair, but anyway, whatever. Yeah, and then we have this. So the wiki's more accurate. The Britannica article was edited by an intern, and they quoted Thomas Lockley, a hack author who embellished the few documents on Yasuke that exist so he could sell books. The article needs to be taken down, which is very, very true. This is, again, Japanese people will chime in on this, by the way. There are Japanese people that watch my channel. And then someone got massively up in his feels. So, this isn't a documentary. And I was like, well, history is important. Because it is. Yeah, you've misplaced hate. And I'm like, there's no hate. I literally just said he wasn't a samurai. He was a servant with more rights. Because that's basically what he was. What's your problem, dude? No one's going to force you to watch it. Stating a fact is a problem to you. Why? Why? One of Oda's retainers is more appropriate. Exactly. He was kept around for amusement. And someone else posted something very, very worthwhile in terms of statements here. Where is it? It was a very, very good post. They actually linked something which I wanted to show you guys. Where was it? Here you go. So his samurai status is still disputed, and there's unfortunately a ton of noise from English language sources which conflates samurai with a regular warrior on a stipend. Here's a good distinction, because that's the thing. The Japanese version of the article goes into even further detail, and it's worth checking it out to understand the various nuances. So look, although this will be good, you know, and FYI, like, cool, like I'm this will be fine, I guess. It's not what you guys think it is. You know, this will be some 300-esque, I don't know, glorification of a black guy becoming a samurai. And I always have an issue with these things because, quite frankly, people get their history now from these kind of films because young people are stupid. So just like the Woman King, people legitimately thought that Dahomey, which was what is now called Benin, was like fine and sort of anti-slavery and strong whammons and all this. They were slavers. They were selling black people. They were rounding up Africans in Africa and just selling them off and murdering them all as well. And this is the thing, right? Like, I think it's important when these things come out just to go, hey, actually, as much as this will be, I'm sure, pretty fine, wasn't actually a samurai, because it wasn't. And then also, like, why? Give me some more feudal Japan stuff, you know? Like, not everything has to be diverse. But I did think this when I was watching Shogun. I was like, they're going to find a way to make it super, super diverse. And the moment I say that, people will get up in their feels and go, you're racist. There's nothing racist about not wanting everything to be super diverse by the Western lens. And by Western lens, I mean black and white. Just give me just Japanese people. Just give me a story about Japan again. Like, I'm keen just for that. That's diverse. Because it's Japan. Right? Anyway, whatever. And they won't tell the true story either. Because they won't say, well, he just died. You know, at the end of it all. But what? Never. It is what it is. Will this be good? Maybe. But you'll get loads of people going, he was a samurai. And blah. You'll see loads of people trying to pretend he was a samurai. He wasn't a samurai. He was a servant with more rights. There you go. Anyway, cheers, guys. Thoughts down below. Take care. Bye-bye now.